of surface area that have previously not been exposed to untrusted input, and we're now just giving web developers access to those drivers and all that surface area. And this is going to be a ripe new area for exploits. So we're working with device manufacturers to improve things like 3D drivers, so that if there is bad input given to the driver, it doesn't give you a zero-day exploit, or at the very least, it doesn't blue screen your computer, which is pretty trivial today. So we're fixing that, but that's going to take time. And in the meanwhile, a blacklist-based approach will help us protect against these new threats. So I'd like to wrap up by saying that we're doing a lot of work to increase the security of the browser, to help keep users up to date in terms of the browser itself, in terms of plugin, but there's always going to be zero-day exploits. And so we view blacklisting as a complementary method to help keep users protected from zero-day threats as well as from social threats like phishing and socially engineered malware. Thank you very much, and I think we probably have a minute or two if anyone has any questions. Chris and I would be happy to answer them. Thanks. In the front.
Are you, or is there going to be a way to feed that blacklist to known issues with, let's say, DLLs or applications or other things? Because, you know, it looks to me like you will have a central point where you can actually distribute, you know, information about a particular item, right? As a URL, but can you extend that to basically the rest of the ecosystem?
Yeah, so Mozilla has done a lot of work in terms of understanding what plugins are vulnerable. I think you can easily generalize that to DLLs in general or parts of the operating system. It's something we're looking at. It's not something we're doing right now, but it's certainly something that we can do in the future. Yes?
You mentioned that sandboxing of plugins is very operating system dependent. Is anybody planning to use things like native client to do sandboxing of plugins, maybe get better coverage on mobile?
So the question was sandboxing plugins very OS independent. Can we do anything better like native client? We're actually working with Mozilla to come up with something newer than NP-API, a new plugin API that will make it easier to do things like sandboxing, provide more centralized mechanisms for accessing system resources, file system access. That'll certainly help. Something like native client is also interesting, but it's not clear that you could actually write something like the Java plugin in native client. So we're very interested in making sure that it is possible to run plugins in a sandbox environment and still provide the necessary functionality. Things like this new plugin API that we're working on with Mozilla and others provide us a way to do this. I think we're probably out of time. So thank you everyone so much for coming. I see a few questions left, so Chris and I will be around today. Feel free to grab us. Thank you all so much, and I look forward to all the great talks today and tomorrow. Thanks.